I discovered that the only way you can make friends or become a leader of men, a leader of your own tribe, you must have something to offer. For most of my life, I've been the kid who was always rejected because, well, I was always awkward, emotional, and I didn't know how to talk to women. I didn't know how to talk to other people. I was just the guy, the geeky kid who used to hang out with the losers. So I was among the losers, the lowest ranking members in any social setting. That is from nursery school, primary school. Things shifted a little in high school, but for most of my life that has been the scenario. But when I went to campus, I discovered that the only way you can make friends or become a leader of men, a leader of your own tribe, you must have something to offer. And that value is the only thing that people see. So in this video, this is the basic principle, value of how you can change your life and become a tribe leader of your own. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe. Let's jump into it. Number one is identifying your value. What do you have that other people don't have that you can offer them? For me, it was art. I knew how to draw. I still know how to draw. It's not a priority. But when I was in campus, when I didn't have classes or when I skipped classes, I used to watch videos on YouTube on how to shade, how to just improve my skills in art. And this was my turning point. This one time I was going to get some movies at a movie shop, and I met this guy. He was a photographer. So I was very into photography, and I liked, building a very nice image on social media so that I could get girls. So we booked a session and everything went blah blah blah. I got the pictures, but I also got the guy's number. This guy is a very good looking guy, and his profile picture, his picture was very simple for me to draw. So I just thought, let me draw this guy and see if I've been learning something from YouTube. And I drew this guy. It was not very perfect, but after he sent me the pictures, I sent him the pic and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And coincidentally, he was a leader at a community group organization basing on arts. God works in mysterious wonders. Anyway, he introduced me to this group just by me offering some value. I showed him what I can do. This is the value that I can offer to the world. And this brings us to our next thing, which is you join a community. So I joined this CBO. It's a community-based organization, and it did a couple of things. So it brought out a lot of insecurities that I had. You see, when you're all alone, you don't have to think about, oh, I am inadequate in this area or in this area. But when I met these guys, these are experienced actors, artists, musicians, all these things. So when you start comparing yourself to all these guys, you start to see the level. You start to see yourself, oh, so there are levels I can reach. And it makes you feel insecure because you know you are not competent enough, which in a sense drives you to even build more value because they are more valuable than you. This guy is a very experienced photographer. They were very experienced actors, and they were all older than me. I was the youngest. Yeah. So it brought out all these insecurities that I had to work on. The second thing is that a community gives you opportunities. So say for example you're in campus, you join a football club or acting club or any other club or a community. You find that they give you opportunities to better yourself, to better your skill. Remember, the main focus is value. So what I was focusing on was how can I get better at my craft so that I can be like these guys. I can make the money these guys are making. I can do the things these guys are making, because we are all in the same category, in the same basket. So how do I become better like them? So that is how a community builds you. Now, number 3 is fixing your posture. So this is around the time when I started self-improvement. And the first thing, guys, the first thing that I worked on was fixing my posture, rolling my shoulders back and looking up. Well, I did it in a very funny way, because I was just expanding my chest and looking arrogant, looking ready, like I was ready to fight. But all in all, I knew that I needed to fix my posture, because something in your mind clicks that I really have to improve me, specifically me. So fixing your posture is something that is conscious, because it is tiring. If before you get used to standing in the correct posture, it is tiring because you feel the pressure in your shoulders. So it makes you alert. It makes you conscious that there is something you are working towards. So it cuts across everything. If you are working on your posture, then it means that in every single thing that you are doing, you are working to progress it. So I was working to progress my art, my posture, and the opportunities that presented were acting. I started getting into acting, which turned out to be, I was really good at acting. I was very good at getting on camera, because acting and camera go hand in hand. And when you start adding value, so now I'm an artist and I'm an actor, I'm compounding my value. So the people that are around me, I'm starting to, so I'm beginning to reach the level that this guy has or this guy has. Remember, you are not there yet. It's a process. It's a very huge process. So I started getting into acting, and we were going out to do community outreaches. So it was building up my confidence, my getting to learn how to do public speaking. And the opportunities that I was presented with also was being a moderator, talking to community people about a specific, this time we were talking about elections and how it's stupid to go to fight over who wins, or blah blah blah, stuff like that. But it built my confidence in talking to people. Public speaking, which for most people is very, very challenging. But all this came from just me drawing a guy and sending a picture to him. So this is what the community does. But also, when you have the correct posture, you find that people respect you. People give more attention to you. And then, remember, I still had the mindset that, hey, I am still a below level guy. The guy who is walked on all over wherever. But what happened is that when I changed my posture, people started acting differently. So people started seeing the change, and they were giving me a different vibe. Now, when you start getting this progress or these results, I went online and started looking at all this, the way self-improvement actually improves you. And now I knew, so posture gets you respected. Posture, gives you that confidence. And people respect confident men. Plus, now I'm getting all these results from acting, drawing, and public speaking. All these things are compounding to my value. So the next step is eye contact. I was always the guy who is shifty eyes. I could never maintain eye contact first. Second is that I never had the clarity, the direction. So my eyes were wandering everywhere. If I am going to a shop, I'm never focused on one direction. I'm always wanting to see all the distractions. So when I learned how to maintain eye contact, when we are talking, I give you eye contact. When, learning how to just maintain eye contact with colleagues and the management, the bosses, all these things, it started to impact me, and it made me feel different. It made me feel stronger mentally, because you observe that, so I'm not the only one who has this problem of maintaining eye contact. You see, you start to see the world differently. You start now to observe things, not just see but observe. This is what happened to me, because you are starting to get some clarity in your mind. All the distractions are starting to become the mind is starting to ignore them. They're still there, but now you are very conscious. You can see, so this is what is happening. This is what is happening. So this guy can't maintain eye contact, because you find that there are some people who can't really hold eye contact when you are talking to them. And now what happens is that now you are building some authority. Eye contact gives you power. So it started building my authority. Now you are adding value. I was adding value. So I had all these skills, but now I'm starting to add some authority to my value. And of course, this is what people look at when they are looking at leaders. It also made me very, very aware of the fact that I had to be ready to defend myself, because eye contact is intimidating. So when someone tries to disrespect you, but you are very strong with your eye contact, you can see that he is definitely trying to disrespect you, and you can either comply and get disrespected and get walked all over the way I used to, or you can change your behavior and stand your ground just by eye contact. And what I discovered is that most people are not willing to get into a fight. Well, most people don't want to fight a guy who can fight them. They just want to bully those guys who won't fight back. So eye contact made me more stronger in terms of, hey, I'm ready to fight you. I'm ready to defend myself. I am not the same guy I used to be. So all this is adding value to my simple drawing talent. All these things are just building up on it. The next point is having the desire to get better. So now I have all this authority that I'm building, but then I see, this is an opportunity for me to grow. Actually grow, because most people used to come to that organization to make some money. Now I'm looking at this space. It had a hall, it had computers, it had all these things that I could really use to build up my business. Because I'm in campus, I'm frustrated because I'm doing a course I can't see any future in, but I see an opportunity to learn. I see an opportunity to better myself. So leveraging the value that I have, I could now be able to speak with the management and convince them to let me use the hall to do all my projects, because now it's there. It was, most of the times it was empty because people were doing all these things. So I had it all to myself, the facilities, everything. So the desire for me to improve myself is something that accelerated my journey towards being a leader, being someone who can be trusted and who people actually look up to as an authority figure. Because it's an initiative. Most people don't have the initiative to improve themselves. They just wait to be told, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that, and they are contented with that. But I was putting myself in an uncomfortable situation, because it's uncomfortable. You are not at home binging movies or doing all these things that other peers were doing. I had peers who were going to parties and all these things, but all my mind could just think was, how am I going to get myself out of this situation, make more money, build more status, be more attractive, just have the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So the desire to become better accelerated my process. There were these programs where they wanted to train people on how to become a better leader and how to talk to people, all these things about leadership. So who do you really think the organization would pick to go and represent them? They would pick the most promising person. I was the most promising person because most of the time I was in the organization doing something productive, and you know, I was doing all these initiatives to better myself, but still also present opportunities for the organization, which I provided value to the organization. So all this compounded value, I'm giving it to the organization because, well, they're still giving me value. It's a win-win situation. So I used to be sent to all these programs to build my leadership skills. The next point is solving problems. You see, what I used to do, I discovered there are two types of solving problems. Now, for most guys are afraid to speak up, to speak their mind. So what I used to do is, say for example, we go out to an event and we get paid, say, $5. I would ask, are we supposed to give, for all this work, are we supposed to get paid $5? And you'd find that now we had to renegotiate our terms, and most of the time we used to get more money by just talking. But I was the one who was doing all the talking. Most people were just complaining, it's too much, it's too little money, I don't know this, I don't know that. But no one had the balls to speak up. So I used to take the initiative and solve the problem, because I feel like I've worked so hard and then I'm getting so little. So I had to speak up for myself. That is solving one problem. And this is the hardest part. This is the hardest problem to solve, because you are confronting your fears. That was the biggest fear. The fear to stand up for yourself, because you don't know what is going to happen. You might be kicked out of the organization because you are challenging the authorities. Well, at that point, I had built up so much confidence and authority that I did not really care about that. Now, of course, my main thing was not about the money for most part, but what I was doing in my own project, my own private time. I had a big project, I had a dream. I still have a dream. I haven't achieved all of my dreams. I had a dream in my mind, and I knew this was just a stepping stone. But while I'm here, why not improve myself? Why not improve my skills that in future they might come in handy? So this was my mindset. Number 2 is actually taking actions. So say for example, you come to the hall, you find it, oh, it's dirty. You take the initiative and solve the problem. You dust it, or you do some cleaning. You find some things are out of order, you pack, you take the initiative, taking the action. Say for example, we used to go to these rehearsals, and now because the trainer is not in, are we supposed to just sit there and wait for him? You take the initiative. Hey guys, since we came, we allocated some time to come and do this rehearsal. Let's do it. Let's do whatever it is we can do before this trainer arrives. And what you're doing is you're training yourself to be the guy who takes initiatives. You see a problem, you solve it, you solve it, you solve it. And one thing I used to wonder is that most guys just want to sit down and lazy around, which is something that used to annoy me very, very much, because I'm looking at time and I'm like, there's so much I could be doing in my business, because now my business had started picking up. Well, things were going better, but people just want to come and lazy around. So this mindset that, hey, we need to be action. You see where you're supposed to fill in do that action. Save time, save time, save time. This is the mindset that actually helped me in terms of having the authority to tell people, hey, let's do this, and they actually listen because they know I am leading by example. So you see, from a very, very small drawing that I drew, I'm at a point where now I have a small community that listens to me. I am the de facto leader because now I am so in tune with the organization that, hey, let's do this. People still, there are others who don't listen to me, but I am building up this leadership skill that I've been learning. So I don't need to be told you are in charge. I know I'm in charge of my life, and I'm not going to let other people actually sway me around because they just want to be lazy. So I'm going to do what I think I'm supposed to do in order for me to progress. The next point is that taking up leadership positions. So I think it was 2 years in, and we had this election, and someone just suggested let that guy be the treasurer, and I became a treasurer. I became a leader of the organization. Now, with all these little compounding things that were building up, now I had an official title that cemented my leadership. Now, of course, there are people who take advantage of the position, but to me it actually cemented all these things, and it proved that, hey, I'm a leader. I truly have built up all these qualities of a leader. So from there on is the ambition. I knew I had so many things I wanted to accomplish, both in the organization and in my life. And what happened is that this leadership position opened up my mind. Now I had remember, I've come from the lowest guy in the hierarchy. Now I'm almost at the top. So now I am seeing the world view from a high status individual. So this is this is high status individuals now. So I am a big catch. This is an organization that is very, very big in the community. So being a leader of that organization, I had access to all these big people in the community. So now you get to see the world from above, because now you can't let all the puny little things that are happening below you affect your judgment. You also become responsible. Like, you are now responsible. Remember, you have a title, and my title was managing the funds. So you need to be very, very responsible. How are you going to explain how these funds have been used? How where did this money go? Or actually, just being responsible. Then we had a very, very, and we still do. I'm still a member of the organization. We have a very, very good CEO. Let me call it that, because he grows. He has this special talent of helping you grow, helping you discover the best version of yourself. So he's not very controlling. His title is the CEO, and he does the CEO things. He lets you do the treasurer works. Do it the way you know how best to do it. The secretary does. He never gets involved. Everyone is given full autonomy. So this gave me a sense of responsibility, where if I see something is wrong, you have to fix it. I have the resources to fix it. So I had to be very, very responsible. And it translated into my life. Now, at this point, I am building up my Forex business. And Forex is all about managing funds, managing your risk, managing its management. And everything is working in perfect alignment. Everything I'm doing, if going to the gym requires management, you manage your diet, everything I'm doing at this point, And remember, it all started from just that simple picture. Again, when you are at the top, you will have haters. You will have people who will be challenging your authority. If you don't have haters, then you're not a very good leader. That is something I have learned from experience. So there were these guys who really just wanted to challenge me. And it was okay because I'm growing, I'm learning, and now I was starting to understand. Oh, so when you start rising to the top and becoming a leader of a tribe, then there will be some people who will not accept you, and it's okay. It's very, very okay. They will start trying to backstab you, talk bad about you, but the point of being a leader is you are very, very calm and collected. You look at things in a very, very logical perspective because there is a lot in line. Remember, these people are just they're like you. So what I used to tell myself is that, oh, I was at that point, I was in that situation where I used to hate the guys above there because I was there below. I used to do the dirty work because there were guys at the top who used to delegate all these things, and then of course the dirty work goes to the dirty people. And if they don't like you, if they don't have that vision, that realization that, oh, I could do something better, I could get myself out of this situation, rather than get themselves out of that situation, they just look at the worst things and then they start creating all these rumors and all these things, which is okay. I remember this one time we had gone out to do an event, and we had a plan, but there are some guys who decided, hey, let's not follow this plan here, let's go do it somewhere else. And this is where my leadership skills were called to question. Well, for me, because I would either be the popular leader who everybody liked because I used to go with the flow, or I would be the real leader who was accountable and responsible, that if anything went wrong, I took all the responsibility. If everything went right, we are taking all the responsibility. And that is what I define as true leadership, is that the people who follow you, sometimes there will be situations where you have to make the big decision that makes people angry. Not all people, but some people who want things to go their way. If it does not go their way, they become frustrated. And this frustration, they start spreading that energy around. But a true leader, a true tribe leader, finds a way to stay strong. Because not all that you are not here to make people happy. You are here to lead people. So just like Moses, the Israelites used to complain all the time, but he was not there to please the Israelites. He was there to lead them to the promised land. And that was my role as a leader. I am here to lead you to the promised land, whether you like the way or not. So when I stood ground and said it's going to happen this way, the way it was planned, people got angry, but we still did it. It was a success. And now, because it was a success, we got to celebrate the success, everyone together. But if it would have been a flop, well, I would have had to take all the blame, because I was the only one who was ready to stand ground. Everyone else was just do it, don't do it, it didn't matter. But from that moment, if I had let that moment, if I'd become the guy who people like, well, most people like, then of course I would have been a bad leader. I would have been the leader who does the leadership the way people want. So this is a crucial thing that I learned. For you to become a tribe leader, you must be willing to accept hate. Accept people will hate you. Some people will hate you, but the overall outcome is that we become successful. We win, and that's the whole point. We win. I have a vision. I had a vision, and I knew that if I don't win here, then How am I going to show up tomorrow? How am I going to lead these people tomorrow? How am I going to be able to tell them this is the way? Because as a leader, you are above all these people in terms of the way you see things, the way you, because you have to plan all these things. You plan the way the day is going to be. You've already seen everything. So if you can't show them what you see, if you can't lead them to the promised land, how are you going to become the best leader that they can? Oh my goodness. This was the moment that I knew would either break me or make me. Fortunately, it made me, because, well, when we went back now to the office, people were complaining, oh, he did this, he did that. And the CEO called me to the side and told me, good job, good job, good job. Leaders are not supposed to be liked. Well, you can be a popular leader, but people also need to respect you. Respect, I'd rather you respect me and hate me. That is the reality. I'd rather you respect me and hate me than love me and disrespect me. Yes. The next point is that you must always have something bigger that you are always looking up to. So remember, when I saw the opportunity that I could use this organization to be a stepping stone to the next step. The next step was moving into financial freedom, and that was my main goal. My main goal was not to be this guy who is, the organization was not my identity, which most people, this is where they just become complacent, and where you start getting a few bucks and get respected a little bit, you get that sense of security. But to me, it was a constant reminder that, hey, if you don't move on, if you don't find a way to move on, you will always be the guy you'll always be associated with that organization. And I don't want to be associated inside the organization, but I want to be above. So that is the main thing. I want to be able to help the organization the way it helped me. So it held me by hand when I was at my lowest point, brought me to the high. Now it is my responsibility to surpass the high, build something else. Now, of course, in this new state, I am the lowest ranking wherever, and I have my vision. I am looking at all these situations that will continue to compound in my skills to become even better. And then when I get better, I can be able to hold the organization like this and help all these people who are upcoming, who are just like me. So having something that is bigger than you will always motivate you to be looking forward. And guys, the way you become a tribe leader now is people look up to you. When I go to that organization, there are people who are looking up to me for advice, for, wait, what do we do here? What do we do here? What do we do here? In YouTube, there are people who are looking at me. What do we do here? What do we do here? In my Forex journey, I still have a YouTube channel that I teach people. I show them, hey, do this, don't do that. If you do this, you'll blow up your account. Don't do this. So just that one little picture, that value that I had, turned out to be all these different projects that are still stepping stones that will take me to the highest level. And guys, that is how you become a tribe leader. Right now, I have a community around me that, well, it feels good. It feels good to have all this power and authority, because you have leverage. Now you can use all this power and authority to connect with other people with the same power and authority, with the same mind, because it's the same process in every stage. It's fractal. Know your value. Find people with the same mindset to offer them value. Then from there, you move on the same steps that I've told you. Then you will reach the highest level. From there, then you move on to the next stage. Look at oh, what do I have in this stage that I can offer? You are just looking at all this compounded value that you have. That is how you become a tribe leader. That is the reality. That is the reality 100%. So if you got value from today's video, if you watch this video up to this, I know, man, I love you. I'm grateful for you, because, man, it's not a lot of people who think this way. So I'm very grateful. I'm I really love you guys. Oh, I almost forgot this. You have to be brutally honest, 100%. Brutally honest with yourself and with the organization, with your group, with your tribe, because you find that you will have some mini tribes that will ultimately join to become a bigger tribe. And when it's time for you to move on, you need to be absolutely honest with these guys, with your group, with your tribe. Tell them, hey, it has come to a point where now I am moving on, and this means that I will give you less time, I will give you less attention, but I will, you start picking the best of the guys in your tribe to keep, because not everyone in your tribe is going to be as active or as ambitious or provide value as you, but you can spot those guys that are just like you. Those are the guys who will be willing to put in the work to reach your level. Those are the guys that you will actually focus. Well, you will still be in touch with them for most of the time, but you have more attention to look up to, because there are places you want to reach. So you are looking at, how am I going to reach the top of this tribe? Because you are moving from one tribe to another tribe to another tribe to another tribe. When you reach one tribe, when you get into another tribe, you work your way to the top, become the leader, then move on. You leverage the skill that you have in navigating the hierarchy. So be brutally honest with yourself and with your tribe. This way, everyone respects you. You respect yourself. They respect you. They respect you. They respect themselves. And there is the expectation and boundaries. They know that, oh, so he will not be available for most of the time. So I need to put in more work so that I can get to the top where I still have access to this guy. So if I'm following someone on YouTube, say for example, I am building myself so that I can have as much leverage as I can, so that when he start making something different that might help me, then I still have the reach there, or we can even connect one-on-one. That is the whole point of this, creating all these relationships. It's the relationships and loyalties that make success, that make you the leader of your tribe. And hit that like, subscribe button. Please comment your thoughts. Let me know where you are in your stage. If you have not started, let me know why. And I'll see you in the next video, man. Peace out.